Desert Hot Springs tends to be one of the two communities in the Coachella Valley where homes are a bit more affordable, so they attract first-time home buyers. I've taken the opportunity to invite my friend Brad Mullen here today so that he can talk to us about an absolutely incredible program in the state of California. Works anywhere in California, but since many of my viewers are local, I wanted you to hear from him. So Brad is a senior loan officer with Franklin Loan Center based in our Coachella Valley. He's a former firefighter for 14 years, and Brad has been writing mortgages for the last 18 years. He and his wife divide their time between a home here in the desert and one on the island of Maui in Hawaii. Zoom is amazing. He's able to write loans in 15 states. Franklin Loan Center has been serving the mortgage needs of clients since 1989 and has grown into a thriving national enterprise. They weave knowledge and experience with state-of-the-art technology to make the home buying experience easy, reliable, and fast. I can attest to that. I got my loan through Brad, through Franklin Loan Center. Because they are a local lender, they are able to write loans on lease land. Furthermore, Brad has experience with conventional loans, VA loans, FHA loans, and jumbo loans on undeveloped land, condominiums, townhomes, single-family dwellings, manufactured homes, and 1 to 4 multi-family properties. Hi, Brad. Thank you for joining today. Welcome. There's so much we could talk about. We had to get something out of the way really quickly. First of all, did I pay you to be here today?
No.
Did you pay me to be here?
Nope.
We know the rules.
We know the rules.
Right. So with that out of the way, we want to talk about this first-time homebuyer program that you were bringing up in our weekly meeting. And I want to know who qualifies, where can someone buy a home, what counts as income in the family structure if like mom and dad wants to contribute, and then whatever else you want to tell us. So take it away.
Okay, sounds good. So who could buy a home under this program? This program is through California Housing Finance Authority, known as CalHFA. This is for the entire state of California. So where can they buy a home? Anywhere in the state of California using this program. And then who can buy a home is any first-time home buyer. Now, that's a broad category. If you have not owned a home in the past 3 years, you are considered a first-time home buyer. So anybody who has not owned a home in the last 3 years can qualify for this program.
So wait, I'm going to pause there. I know I said I wasn't going to interrupt you, but
that's okay.
You're telling me that if I owned a home 5 years ago or 10 years ago, sold that, or maybe even in 08, 07, I lost it, but my credit's better, I have an income today, I qualify as a first-time home buyer?
That is correct. That's correct.
Okay, good stuff.
And this is the new term for a first-time home buyer for a multitude of first-time home buyer programs is anybody that's not owned a home for 3 years. Now, how do we qualify and who qualifies for this as far as the income goes? Income from any family member can be used as long as they live in the home. So if you're a multi-generational home and you have your mother or your father or your grandmother or whomever is living with you and you need to use that income to qualify, then that income is eligible to be qualified. The only time it cannot be is if mom and dad or another family member, brother, sister, whomever is a non-occupant co-borrower or what we call a co-signer.
Okay, so like mom and dad can't just float you $1,000 a month. They need to be living in the house with you, is what you're saying.
They need to be living in the house.
Right. But if I have an adult daughter or son who's living at home and paying rent or chipping in $400 or $500 a month, I can count that?
We can't count the rent, but we can count the income that they're earning.
Okay.
As income to qualify.
That's helpful. All right, thank you. Keep going.
One more piece about the income is now that with all of this, there are income limits of $187,000 for Riverside County.
Okay.
So we have to make sure that whatever combined income we're using to qualify doesn't exceed that dollar amount.
Okay. And you mentioned Riverside. So if they're in Solano County or Yolo County, it'll be a different limit.
That is correct.
Okay.
Every county's going to have a different limit.
What if I don't have very good credit? Or let me rephrase that. I've worked on my credit and I have average credit. What does that mean?
So this is whether I like to call it's a pass fail, basically.
Okay.
If you pass with a 640 or above credit score, you're in the program. And you're in the program with the same interest rate and same mortgage insurance, money factor, the same everything as if you have a 740 credit score.
Wow.
So
And
if you're above a
740 is a pretty
640,
good credit score. So they're not penalizing you for having something a little bit less.
correct.
Wow. Okay. So tell me more. I'm
Uh,
loving
the
what I
way
hear.
the way that this program works is that it's a down payment assistance program in the sense that through this program, they offer you a series of second and third mortgages to assist you with the down payment and the closing costs. These mortgages are silent, meaning that there's no mortgage payment on these loans ever. And when we say ever, we mean that if you own this home for 35 years and you pay off the first mortgage, which is the mortgage that you make your payment on, and that's a 30-year loan, you still do not make payments on these silent seconds and silent thirds until you sell the house
Okay.
or you refinance the house. Now, the silent second has simple interest at 3%. So what does this mean? It means that if that silent second is for $10,000, it's $300 a year in interest. So very little interest accumulates on this loan.
Like
And
that.
then if you take the third option and you get the third loan, it is interest free. So this is a wonderful program.
Okay. So I want to get clarification. That 10,000 plus 300 for the first year, is it 300 for the second year, or is it a little bit more because now it's the 10,000 plus the 300?
It's 10,300. So it would go up
A little bit.
slightly every year.
Okay. But that's not significant. And as long as I don't have to make payments on it until I sell the house or refinance it, I'm basically getting into a house that I wouldn't otherwise get into.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
With a small seller credit, we can actually get someone into a home for less than $1,000.
Okay. So let me ask you, do I have to be a California resident, I assume, right?
Yes.
But I don't know. This is a lot like a VA loan, zero down concept. Forget the second and third, but it's better than that in some ways.
It is. Absolutely. Because you don't have to be a veteran to qualify for the
Yes.
100% financing.
Wow. So what are the loan limits? Like how much spending power? Do they say, oh, only houses up to 400,000 or 500,000 or what?
You can borrow up to the California limits for FHA, which is Riverside County's limit is 644,000. And the conforming limit is now $766,550. So you can borrow all the way up to those limits.
So assuming you have the income to support the first mortgage, you are able to get in. Is that right?
You're right. Exactly right. If you
And
qualify for
how
the first
much-
mortgage,
So let's just take a crazy $500,000 house, flat 500,000, and you qualify for $450,000 of first. Are you saying that through a second and third, silent second and third, you could actually get in there, 25,000 each?
that is correct.
That's
You
the
can get in.
concept.
That's the concept.
And is it true? So let's just say, well, no, actually, I think I was going to answer my own question. If I can afford that, only afford a $400,000 first,
Right.
you figure out how much the state program will give me in a second and a third.
So we back into the purchase price and we say, okay, this is how much money you have, 0, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, whatever it is, dollars that
Okay.
you can put as your down payment. This is the loan amount that you qualify for. Then we'll back into the purchase price that you can set as your purchasing power.
Awesome. I truly can't think of other questions related to this program. So let me ask you a couple of questions with respect to someone who's watching this in Merced County or Solano County. Could they call you and say, can you help me with a loan?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
This is a statewide program. We would
Okay.
just look at the specifics for Solano or Merced County for the income limits, make sure they fall under it. The only qualifications for the property is it can be a single family home, it can be a condo, it can even be a manufactured home. They have to be on fee land, no lease land, and then a single unit property. So a single family home or one condo or a manufactured home. It does not allow for a duplex or a triplex, even if you were to occupy one of the units as your primary residence.
Okay, so I'm going to dive into that a little bit. And if you don't have the answer, because this is off the fly, uh, what if I buy a house in a community and then because the state of California lets me convert a portion of my house into an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit, would that be permitted after I already own the home?
It's an interesting question. I would definitely have to get back to you because these ADUs, but these are all brand new.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
I'd have to look to see if there's anything in here regarding accessory dwelling units. Adding an accessory dwelling unit and then using that as a rental income would not violate the program. If you were to purchase a home with an ADU, we just couldn't count the rental income the ADU produces as qualifying
Interesting.
income to help you
So
buy.
the fact that it's two units in that case, two legal units, doesn't exclude it from the program. It just doesn't give you the leverage of the income of the other unit.
Correct. Yeah, as I go through this, it's so an ADU is a one unit with an ADU. It's not a legal two unit property. So
Very
that's our rub. That's our
wow.
in.
Okay, so then I'm going to go back to that higher end of the loan amount. Let's say someone works in San Francisco or LA and they're making, I don't know, what was the top of the income you could make? 175?
187 was for Riverside County.
Oh, so it changes by county. So in
Yes.
LA, it might be higher.
Let's take a look at what the income limits are for LA County or for San Francisco County or Contra Costa. So San Francisco, $300,000 income limit.
But okay,
LA County, 194,000.
so
So it
that brings
changed.
a lot of people into the program. So
Absolutely.
let me say though, they can still only borrow the maximum of seven something.
Correct.
But they might, if they do have a little bit of extra money, they have 50,000 they got in a bonus, that might get them into an $800,000 condo.
Yes.
I mean,
Well, they're putting that down. Absolutely.
it's not impossible.
Not impossible.
As opposed to someone who has to put 20% down to get conventional finance.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so now one last question. Are there areas where this is I don't know, somehow I thought that there were certain towns like Desert Hot Springs out here that had some extra benefit. Did I make that
Yes,
up?
there are going to be certain areas in the state of California in our Coachella Valley that will offer additional, separate, but additional options for home buyers. Some have to be as a primary residence.
Okay.
Others require you to be a first-time home buyer. Others do not. So there's a community lending program, which most of Desert Hot Springs is available. Only caveat there is it has to be your primary residence. You
Okay.
can own a home, have owned a home in the past, and it
Okay.
gives you a discounted interest rate simply for the home being in this area.
Okay.
As well as there's USDA financing available, which is 100% financing. Again, no requirement for being a first-time home buyer, just has to be your primary residence and then be in an eligible area. A lot of Desert Hot Springs is 100% financing.
Amazing. Okay. Really helpful. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you want to make sure we know?
There are so many other programs out there, far too many for us to discuss. So as your buyer calls, we will look to all the down payment assistance options, all the first-time home buyer program options to find the loan and the program that best fits their needs.
Terrific. I thank you very much, sir. You have a great
Thank
day.
you. You too.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.